Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
This video is not for the closed-minded individuals, the ones who can't take anybody else's opinions except for their own. If you can't have a mature conversation, then, darling, this video is not for you. You will be blocked immediately. Remember to keep it cute, keep it mute, or get the boot. Now preparing to... I shouldn't have been Black China. Port to Nina's Rawview in 3, 2, 1. I'm Nina, Bonina Brown, and you are now watching the Nina channel. Oh, I hate my life. That drag queen promised me 6 bars of chocolate.
Ladies, may I introduce Pierre? Come on, Pierre. I have the chocolate here.
A Snicker bar,
Not Snickers.
a whatchamacallit, and a Butterfinger.
No, you ungrateful brat. I have a special chocolate just for you. I said 6:15. And ladies, that is in 15 seconds from now.
Well, I don't know what's going on here, buddy, but you got 5 seconds to give me my...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Chalk. Ah! Oh, my stomach, what did you do to me?
Child is no longer child.
Ah! Oh, I'm transforming. I'm acting.
Child.
Oh, what a world. What a world. I'm acting. Look at me now, Mom. I'm turning into something.
It's a mouse.
Welcome back to my channel, you ungrateful brats. Being ungrateful pigs. It is I, Nina Bonina, Grand High Rich Brown, and you're in for a treat. Hey guys, it's me, Nina Bonina Brown, and we are here for a Witches remake Rawview. I saw the movie. I'm not mad. I'm not shooketh, but I'm not tooketh. I tell y'all, I am breathing in so many fumes right now from the spray paint for this gold. Anyway, honey, y'all know this is where we keep it cute, keep it mute, or get the boot. Y'all know I have moderators here watching my channel, honey, who is ready to block any ignorance, honey, so just know that. If you are new here, thank you for coming. Subscribe if you would like to. If you want a tip, make sure the tip. The name is Pierre Dees on Cash App and Venmo, and I'll leave my PayPal link and all that in the subscription. So I'm going to transform again like I did with my Dragula video. Thank y'all for coming to the Dragula video. I'm going to go from this to her wide smile because in the movie, they gave her a whole kind of different look. She didn't really have a big old final transformation. So anyway, let me go ahead and do this so I can come back and we can do the review. And it's not that late yet, but y'all know it's about to be late, so see you in a few. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the back. Child is no longer a child. Child is a mouse. Okay, we're back. And prepare to be seeing a lot of these like big mouth face looks because I've been inspired to do this. And then I'm inspired to do the jigaboo look from Lovecraft. And they also have big smiles. And then Melina is being released on Mortal Kombat for DLC. November, so you'll be seeing that. So get ready to smile. Do y'all remember that song? I can't. Mostly everybody knows that the witches, girl, if these snakes come off, girl, y'all sue me. They have been falling off. They're so irritating. The Witches, it's a movie that has so much magic. Magic, it's magical. I know that sounds lame, but, and for it to come out back in 1990, because it seemed like it's like an 80s film, but it came out in 1990, and it was produced by Jim Henson, which you already know, legend, you already know. It just had such rawness to it. The producing, Angelica Houston as the Grand High Witch, the cast, the crew, it just was amazing. And, you know, it's written by, the story is written by Roald Dahl, and he's done so many things that we love as children, Willy Wonka, The Chocolate Factory, and stuff like that. He didn't like the movie. Well, I don't know if he just didn't like it or he just didn't like the ending, because in his book, Luke remains a mouse for the rest of his life. And he didn't like that they changed the story to make him become back a child again, because there was a good witch that was alongside the Grand High Witch, which we'll see in the new film. There's no good witch this time. But I wasn't mad at the ending because I thought it was happy and nice, and who wants to stay a mouse forever? So overall, it's just an amazing film. So when I found out that they were doing a remake, this is a while ago when I was hearing rumors about it, and I was like, okay. And I remember hearing that that Anne Hathaway was going to be in talks of being the Grand High Witch. I'm like, okay. I know a lot of people don't really like her like that, or they think that she is just like one note, but she's definitely better than Gutter Boy Ratio. I don't have my fan, so. I wasn't mad at it. I'm not one of those people, like, you know, this is one of my gripe with people, is that whenever they hear about a remake being made, everybody just automatically be like, it's horrible. They don't even see it yet. They don't even see the trailer or nothing. They're like, it's horrible. It's horrible. It sucks. You can't beat the original. And it's like, can the movie come out first? Like, I understand that people hold things to their heart, like nostalgic reasons. But I hate when people just automatically just hate things just because there has been some good remakes. Like, I enjoy It, the remake. It was really good. It was really, really good. So I was all here for it. And it's like, I wouldn't hear much about it for a while, and then it would go away. And then out of the blue, I'm like, oh, a poster has been leaked. Oh, The Witches, okay. Poster leaked. It's supposed to come out October 22nd or something like that. And I'm like, wait, but it hasn't been any like promotion or nothing for it. So that's weird. And then that kind of disappeared. And then out of the nowhere, it was like, oh, gonna be on HBO Max. Wait, what? So it's not going to the theaters? It's just weird. So it ended up going to theaters internationally some places, but for us, it's like on HBO Max, which is fine because as we all know, everything has been pushed back this year. Like horror movies, like Candyman, Quiet Place 2, all these things that I want to see. So I just thank God that something came out, you know, and I would have loved to go to the theater, but we're going to get to this. I don't know if it was worth the theater release. So maybe it was better off coming on HBO. But let's get to this. I'm just trying to figure out how to like do this video and just not make it so long, but speak about the differences I found and what I liked and what I didn't like and my overall perception of it. So it might be some spoilers. So if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, go see it first and then come back to my video. Let me know what you think. So the cast is completely different. There's nobody that was like brought back, like returning person or at all. It's a whole new cast, but kind of familiar. We have Anne Hathaway as the Grand High Witch, Octavia Spencer, this time as the Grandma. And we have Stanley Tucci, or the Tukey, who's playing the role for Mr. Bean as Mr. Stringer. We have Javier Kadeem Bruno. Damn, that's a lot of names. I don't think he has a name this time. It just says he plays a hero boy, the young boy who's turned into a mouse, whose name was Luke in the original. And then we have Cody Leyisig as Bruno Jenkins, which I think he did a good job. My friend said that he reminded her of the little chubby boy from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and he does.
What's your name? I'm Bruno Jenkins.
And to be fair, I mean, that once again was made by Roald Dahl, so it's no surprise there. So that's pretty much some of the main cast, and a witch that goes by the name, well, her real name is Josette Simon, but her witch name is Zelda, and she kind of had a few parts from there, so I will mention her as well because she gave me Eartha Kitt vibes. And then we have Chris Rock, who is basically narrating the whole movie, but he's also the little boy who's grown now. Well, he's a mouse. Spoiler alert. But Chris Rock narrating the whole movie just like he kind of did Everybody Hates Chris. And I kind of didn't like it. I feel like Chris Rock made the movie a little more campier than it needed to be at times. Like he just kind of took me out of it sometimes. I didn't really care for it.
All right then. Witches are as real as a rock in your shoe.
So pretty much the opening theme is different. The opening, you know, the opening where it basically, you know, the older one, you know, it comes on and then it kind of goes to the grandma speaking to Luke about witches and the Grand High Witch and all these things.
Every country in the world has witches, and there is a Liga.
The new one, it opens with Chris Rock, who you don't know that he's a mouse yet, but he's a mouse, and he's teaching this class about, you know, witches and this little boy, you know, his life, whatever. And then eventually it gets to the boy losing his parents.
For a minute, I'm afraid I have some bad news.
Yeah, come in.
Wait here.
So just like in the original, you know, he lost his parents in a car accident. They didn't really talk much about his parents that much. It kind of just was like, okay, they passed away and they're staying with me. But in the new one, where I will give it his props, is that it went more into depth about his parents.
A boy with a mother and a father.
Mama! Dad! Mommy!
He seemed a little more sad about his parents. This little boy, I think he can grow as an actor, but he didn't do bad. But it gave more depth, and the grandma, you know, Octavia Spencer, she kind of gave a little more depth about her daughter, you know, who was the one that was his mom. So I appreciated that. So, okay, so we go from that, and then pretty much just like in the old movie, the grandma becomes diabetic, but partly because I think she was cursed by a witch. So in this new one, you know, they're kind of like, you know, he's starting to get past or getting to a place where he's comfortable that his parents have passed away. And, you know, him and the grandma just dancing, doing their thing. Okay, now this cast is like mostly like, it's like a lot of black people now. Girl, I feel like I was watching Witches on BET. No shade, no tea, girl. I feel like it was Witches on BET, bitch. And that's the thing now, it's like, I feel like a lot of films now, I guess they're trying to make up for like not having that many black people in a lot of movies. But it's like, it's just so obvious to me now. But anyway, I just had to say that. She starts coughing because outside the window lurks the evil witch.
Curse.
Miss Zelda, honey. So then, which basically we end up meeting her for the official time.
in the grocery store where she's basically playing the role that was played by Annabelle Brooks, who ends up seeing Luke in the treehouse, and she's trying to tempt him down with some chocolate and a snake.
Something I think you'll like. Jump down and I'll show you. No, but I just wanted to give you this.
And Luke remembers the story that his grandma told him that witches have purple eyes and they have no toes and all these things, and he gets scared and starts calling for his grandma. And then she kind of goes away. Basically, Zelda is playing that same role now, trying to get the boy to fall for her scheme.
Boy, give her a kiss.
Luke tells his grandma that he saw this strange woman, and with this movie, she hasn't told him about the witches yet or anything. So when they get home, that's when she goes to the whole thing about, you know, they're evil witches. And this time around, they don't have purple eyes, but they do have no toes, except for that goddamn Grand High Witch. Bitch, that damn toe, that damn one middle toe, that damn long toe, I hated it. Why? That they only have 3 fingers, and so those things are different from like the old one where they had hands, but this one they have 3 fingers, and they're still bald and still itching and wearing wigs, you know, like drag queens. This time around though, when they had the grand ballroom, they didn't have any men this time dressing up. They had all females there, it seems, so that's different. But the difference this time around, the grandma telling the story, because in the original, the grandma said that she had a friend who basically, a childhood friend, who was kidnapped when she was on her way to bring her mom some milk. And the witch, we don't know what happened. The witch got the girl, and then time went on, and then they couldn't find their daughter. And then eventually the grandma, when she was a child, she ended up seeing this painting in her friend's house. And in the painting, the little girl appeared.
Was Erica locked in the painting?
So the witch, I guess, trapped the girl into the painting, and she ended up being in the painting and growing old, and she died. And we assume she died because she got older in the picture. And I thought that was always so creepy and so well done. This time around, the grandma's friend kind of, you know, she gets tempted by a witch, but she actually gets tempted by the Grand High Witch herself, Anne Hathaway. And she got a piece of candy, and, you know, everything seemed fine. And then all of a sudden, the girl I thought she had damn balls on her neck, bitch. She turns to a chicken. And the parents come out like, this is a big ass chicken. I'm like, oh Lord, they about to fry their damn daughter. They about to eat their daughter, bitch. Thank God that didn't happen. But basically the girl ended up living her whole life as a chicken, but we don't know what happened to her because they didn't really go much more into it after that. But I like the painting idea better versus somebody turning into a chicken. So for me, the older one excels at that. So anyway, now it's time for them to move on to the Grand Hotel, honey. The Grand Resort, bitch. Those of y'all that know, when I was in the UK, I really wanted to go to visit Cornwall and go to this hotel because I always thought this hotel was so beautiful in the original, and I just wanted to just go and be a part of it. And I remember when I called, they were saying that they actually like do little tours of like how the witches was filmed there.
Wow, the hotel, Grandma.
It's not half bad.
And you can actually rent the room that the Grand High Witch stayed in. So I really wanted to, but anyway, they have another Grand Hotel, but this time everything is filmed in Alabama, pretty much. And I must say, even though it's not the Grand Resort, this hotel is beautiful. They did a great, the hotel is beautiful. It really is. It's like an old plantation though, but it's really beautiful. And this is when we introduced to Bruno. And he pretty much is like a replica of the Bruno from the old one. I mean, except this time, the parents, I will say the mom reminds me of the mom from the original. And this is also when we get our first taste of the Grand High Witch, just like in the old one, at the hotel, because they're having this thing for like children awareness, which really means they want to kill some children. And Anne Hathaway in this pink Pepto-Bismol breast cancer dress, bitch. Yes, ma'am.
Is the Le Grand Imperial Ballroom, or
sickening. I'm like, the fashion was pretty good. I didn't really care for the wigs that much. And I still think she should have been like a dark haired color, like Angelica Houston's hair, to make her seem more, because that's the thing. Angelica, she just don't really have to try because she was just being herself. And she already has this like, this you're intimidated by her. Anne Hathaway, as you see in her, you know, trying to do the accent and all that, which I don't think was bad. She sounded more French to me this time around than how Angelica sounded more like, in a way, Russian, I guess. I don't think it was bad, but you can tell that Anne was trying to deliver something versus it being kind of natural in a way.
You may remove your shoes. You may remove your wigs.
And I don't know if she was trying to be like Angelica or just kind of pay a little homage to that, but also make it her own thing, which I appreciate. But I hated how she said, remove. I don't like how she said it.
You may remove your shoes.
So fast forward, okay, the difference is, okay, they're all checked in a hotel, yada, 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 they're checked in. The difference is this time around, there's not the maid who was like the nosy maid who was in love with Mr. Bean. She doesn't exist this time.
What happened?
She doesn't exist this time, so that's the difference. And they do have the black cat. This time the black cat is really CGI.
Acts and
a lot of time, you'll see a lot of CGI. It felt like I was watching Tom and Jerry sometimes a little bit, but I mean, but whatever. It wasn't that bad. But anyway, you know, they check in the hotel and the grandma is like, you know, just wanting her grandson to go out there and try to have a good time. And he has his little pet mice, just like in the original, his little white pet mice. Well, just one mouse actually this time around. And he wants to train the mouse. I don't know why he couldn't train the mouse in the room. But he takes the mouse to the grand ballroom where, you know, shit goes down. Same as the furs, but the first, see, this is my issue with the movie. I feel like this new remake didn't have any paces. It was just like from the beginning through, like it was just like no kind of build up or anything. There was no tension for me. And so when it got to the grand ballroom where the Grand High Witch and all the witches get together and, you know, they about to like remove their wigs and remove this and remove that. And she transforms to her final gruesome self. It was okay. It happened so fast. Now, I will say, I think Angelica did a better job at how she did hers and how she did her build up. But I will also say, Anne Hathaway was secretly kind of scary.
And it's putting me right off my bed!
Now, a lot of it probably had to do with like the CGI and like them doing like making the voice enhance and things. But she was creepy. She didn't have a final form.
We'll play the Shakespeare.
But this smile like this was creepy, and the way she had this long noodly arms and it was scary. It was scary. It was like, I would give them that. It was creepy. Of course the special effects are better, because you remember when the witch dared to cut off the Grand High Witch to ask a question, and the Grand High Witch was like, who spoke? Bitch, and the girls were nervous, honey. Angelica got that long ass finger, bitch, and zapped that hoe, and she popped in the seat like firecrackers.
Who spoke?
Now, those special effects were horrible. This time around, this was more sickening. Like, but of course, we're in the future now. It was sickening how they did that scene this time.
Everybody's
And here we go to that long ass toe that I was telling y'all about.
Good question, insubordinate, but a good question.
Why? But the dress was sickening. The way the dress just fell down and the snake got longer and that was sickening. Now that dress is iconic already. Like, that's an iconic dress. Like, I'm gonna give them that. Like, the dress was iconic. And then you got Bruno coming in, you know, Bruno coming to get his chocolate, and, you know, she has her potions, and she's trying to, like, tell the witches that once they're done with this, they're going to travel the world and turn all the kids to mice. And Bruno comes in being very greedy, wanting his chocolate. This part, look at the old one, and then look at the new one. The old did it better. Once again, the build-up, the intense of it, it just wasn't just intense this time. It was okay. I even liked the way the kids transformed to a mouse in the original. Like, it was just really practical effects and just right in your face. This one was just like, okay. It was very grotesque in the original one. So, in the original, after Luke manages to escape the grand ballroom for now, you know, he's running and going outside, and they didn't do the iconic scene where Angelica pushes the baby carriage off the cliff. Well, she's trying to get it to die, but luckily the baby doesn't die.
Bye-bye.
They didn't do that this time around, and because, you know, he got caught by the Grand High Witch in his grandma's room, but this time he got caught in the actual hotel room, in the grand ballroom. So that's the difference right there. And I also thought that when he turned to a mouse, I thought he was cuter as a mouse in the original. And this time, the white mouse can speak.
I'm not afraid of nothing.
Because she used to be a little girl herself. My friends hated her accent. She sounded so country. So that was different. She spoke this time around. The other mouse in the original, they didn't speak because they were real mice. She didn't really have much of a story though. And then this scene with the maid trying to, like, hit them with a broom. I thought it gave me very Tom and Jerry tease, where you could see the big, you know, the mammy jammy.
What in the world going on in here?
You know, running around with her stockings hanging down. So fast forward, same thing. The grandma knows now that they're going to turn to mice, and now they have the plan to, you know, drop down and lower him down in this little knitted thing and try to steal the potion from the Grand Witch's room. This time around, the Grand High Witch seems to have a little tiff with her cat, and she kind of gets mad at the cat because Mr. Stanley Tucci, who plays the snooty, you know, doorbell guy, whatever he is, bitch, he says that they're not allowed to have cats and rodents and stuff, you know, in the hotel. So he got her a cage for the cat so she can carry the cat around. And she didn't want to put the cat in the cage, but the cat actually liked the cage. So when that happened, she hated that, and she was like, traitor. And you'll see, because that ends up playing a role on her in the end. The difference in the original, when he gets lowered down to get the potion, you know, he gets pretty much attacked by the cat.
Come, cat! Oh, cat! No!
This time around, the cat's not in the room. So he kind of was able to get the potion really easily. So that's the difference. So he gets the potion, and, you know, the same old thing like the original. They're trying to get to the kitchen so they can put the potion in the crest soup so they can turn all the witches to mice. And this time around, there wasn't a witch that was working in the kitchen.
Everywhere.
So I kind of did miss that. They didn't have that this time around. And just like the original, the grandma tries to convince Bruno's dad and mom that their son is now a mouse. They don't believe it. They think she's crazy. You know, same kind of gist that's going on.
Tell them, Bruno.
Got him right here. Oh, Bruno, say something to him.
And when we get down to those scenes, all the witches are around the table drinking their, eating their soup. And Anne was getting ready to drink her soup or eat her soup until she noticed Octavia Spencer looking at her, because she recognizes Octavia Spencer from back in the day when she turned her friend to a chicken. But Octavia trying to play it off like, girl, you don't know me. So right when she's still trying to confront her, all of a sudden the bitches start passing gas and flying in the sky, bitch. So they're all turning to mice and everything, that scene is kind of the same. It's chaotic. Everything's going crazy. The mice are everywhere, bitch. Anyway, fast forward. Okay, so in the original, they have the showdown with the Grand High Witch. She's already drank the soup and she's getting ready to attack the grandma, but she starts transforming into this ugly, grotesque, nasty mouse.
You're doomed forever!
This time around, it didn't happen that way. Octavia and them go back to the Grand High Witch's hotel room to try to steal some stuff or whatever. And Anne walks in on her. And then she starts to try to attack her. But this time, those damn middle toes, bitch, gets clamped in all these rat traps, because they have a lot of rat traps over the hotel to catch all these mice now. And the boy is able pretty much to get the potion, fly in the air, drop it in her mouth, and then she turns to her mouse self.
You stupid bitch!
Now, I will say, this time around, the mouse that she turned to was scary. That was scary. That was some scary shit. Yeah, that was scary. And that scene was pretty good. It gave me, but it's very Stuart Little in a way. This kind of gave me Stuart Little tease, but that was sickening. That was sickening. But they trap her in a glass like in the original. But this time around, they leave her there and let the cat, who she was pretty much mad at, have at her. And the cat pretty much, I guess, eats her.
Remember who feeds you. No, don't think about food.
Which if I was that cat, I would not be eating that. Ew. So that's the difference. So in the original, they pretty much get the book from her that has the list of every witch all over the world. And their plan is to go back home and stop every witch and end them. But being that there was a good witch in the original, she went to Luke in her house and while he was sleeping or whatever, she turned him back to human. This time around, because there's no good witch, pretty much Bruno, because I guess his mom and them didn't want him anymore, which is kind of mean. Bruno and the white mouse, they end up staying with Octavia and them in their home and living their lives as mice, still with the same plan to get every witch. And this goes back to the beginning where Chris Rock is narrating, and now they reveal that he's a mouse and that he's teaching the kids in the room to this is how you trap a witch. This is how you know what a witch is. Let's stop these witches. Let's turn them all to mice. And he's all old now and just gray-haired, and Octavia's older now and
ready to carry on the fight.
Carry on the fight.
That's the thing. My friend didn't think that Octavia was old enough to be a grandma, But I kind of bought it. And then it goes off and, you know, the credits kind of sound like the same song that was in the original. But that's it.
Overall, you know what? This film, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I found it a little too comical. Like I said, Chris Rock was just a little annoying to me at times, a little bit. I feel like it could have been more of a serious take if he wasn't just narrating the whole time. To me, it was a little more comical than the original. And I was like, here's like one of the ratings that a guy named Richard Roper did from Chicago Sun-Times. Praised the special effects and performances, but found the film to be far too disturbing for young children and not edgy enough to captivate adults. I don't know how true that is. I mean, okay, yeah, it was disturbing. Like I said, the long arms and the wide snake mouth and all that was creepy. Like, it was unsettling. And I guess, honestly, my mom loves the original Witches, and I don't know if this would captivate adults. I guess it's kind of true in a way. But my thing for you guys, if you haven't seen the movie yet, watch it yourself. Give it your own fair opinion. Just don't go trashing it and you haven't even watched it yet, you know. Don't let your nostalgia blind you, because you might end up loving it more. Who knows? I think the new generation of kids, they might appreciate it, but I would say to anybody out there, show them the original one. Like, if I had children, I would show them the original one. That one I could watch every year. This one, if I never saw it again, I wouldn't be too sad about it. You know, I give it a 7. I give it a 7. I think Ann and them did a good job. I think, like, nobody did bad. It just didn't have that magic. But then again, TV ain't what it used to be. You know, everybody's on their phones now, you know, but it just didn't have that magic that the old Witches had, in my opinion. In fact, I wish that they would have just did a sequel, like a follow-up to how the grandma and Luke, or whoever the boy name is now, were traveling the world and putting an end to all the witches and all these things. Would have been cool, a follow-up, versus them doing a remake. Because I don't know if it really did it anything different or any justice. In fact, I know that it missed a theatrical release in the US, but honestly, I mean, I don't know if it was worth it, to be honest. But I still want to do a kudos to Anne, the whole cast, Octavia, all of them, the cast, the crew. Like, y'all still put a lot of effort into your work. You still did a great job. And I wish y'all success regardless with the movie. I really do. And I hope that it gets some praise out there. I really do. I really do. And yeah, so thank you guys for always being here, as always, and supporting. And remember to stay beat, stay beautiful, stay mousy. But most importantly, stay blessed. Kima Chow.
Kima Chow.